Kia ora, welcome to rural New Zealand. I'm your host Scotty. Join me as we go check out what's happening in rural communities. On this week's show we head to Lincoln University where we check out some bioprotection. I have a beer with Wade from the Springfield Hotel. But first we're over to Akaroa Harbour where things are getting a little bit cheesy. So at the bottom of this lovely harbour is a bay called Barry's Bay, and we're going to go check out and see where this cheese is made. Mike, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
So you're the owner around here, I hear?
Yep. My wife and I have had the business now for 10 years. We bought it from the Don and Jeanette Walker that had it for 20 years prior to us. So this factory's been making cheese since 1952. So we're talking about 60 plus years of continuous cheese making here.
Wow, that's cool.
So there's a lot of history, processing local milk and making cheese over on Banks Peninsula.
Yeah.
There was originally 11 dairy factories around the harbour, and this is the last one still operating. I mean, if you go around a lot of the bays, you can still see the dairy factories, but this is the only one that's still operational, which is neat.
Oh, that's cool. So, obviously not much milk production goes on Banks Peninsula, so you must be pretty seasonal.
Well, the summer milk finishes at the end of May, so we finished making cheese last weekend at the end of May, and basically, winter milk is difficult to get hold of and more expensive, so we stopped making cheese in June, July, August, and we start again sometime in September when the milk is ready for cheese making. The Clostridium levels are down, and milk's ready to go. So it'll be getting towards the end of September. So we're in full production from mid-September through to sometime in May.
So does that mean you have to make an extra amount to get you through that?
We have to make we have to make our total year's make in 8 months, as opposed to our cutting and packing operation, which runs for 12 months of the year. So it takes a bit of planning to get the right cheese made during the season at the right times to give us a consistent aging pattern through the 12 months of our sales.
Yep. Cool. Well, since we're here at the factory in Barry's Bay, should we go check it out?
Go and have a look.
Go get suited up and
we'll
get ready.
You into some white clothes and take you out in the factory.
Oh yeah, so you won a cheese award last year. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
So we won the Countdown Champion at Champions Award last year for our aged gouda, so that makes it the best cheese in New Zealand from the bigger cheese makers' factories. So where we've seen the factory out there where we've made the round cheeses in the moulds, these cheeses have then been in the brine vat for 24 hours, and then we've put a cheese coating on them just to give a bit of surface protection so they don't dry out over a period of days, and then they just sit on our white pine shelves here, and we age them at different temperatures. I mean, to get the flavour to develop, we bring the temperature up a bit in the early weeks and months of the aging process, and then a bit further down the line we bring the temperature back a bit, so this room's at 12 degrees. Now these cheeses are quite sort of stable. We basically turn in these cheeses every week, so we come in here every Friday, this cheese comes off here, gets flipped over, and it goes onto here, and so on along the shelf, and then that gives that bit of the shelf a chance to dry out, and so they will sit like this until such time as we cut them and sell them. Followed traditional cheese making method, so we want our cheeses to look authentic. So these waxes, Edam's always sold as a red wax cheese. So this cheese has been aged, and it's going to go out to the market, and so we're going to wax it now. So it'll come up like that prior to the cutting.
So you just sort of hold it sort of bottom half if you can. If you hold it to the sides, you're just going to get your hands roasted basically. So you got to hold it to the bottom a wee bit. Straight down, about halfway. Back up, hold it and let it drip. Stops dripping, you go back down again. little bit further past what you did the first time. Back up and hold it, wait for it to stop dripping. Then you go up the side, so that it drips around the side as opposed to over the front of it. And you just go, pop her in there. Hopefully she sits. So that's sort of what you end up with. And you just clean
off
up
and make it look beautiful.
Yeah, you just get rid of some of these knobs around the side.
So then after they come out, then
After they've come out there, then over to Annette here, and the cheeses are labelled so that they get. We have a look at them, quality control them, check that they're all okay. The nutritional information label on the back, our Barry's Bay labelling on the front, our best before coating so we can follow through the cheese from the farm, trace it back to the farm the milk came from.
ready for the supermarket.
Ready for the supermarket, into the boxes and packed up, off they go. Into the shippers and out and off to the supermarket.
So today we're here at the Boyle River Camp and we're going to check out the high poles. Billy, do you want to tell me about what's going on here?
So this is the high poles elements that we've got up here. There's lots of different options. So like for example over here they've got the rickety bridge, which involves them going up the pole, along the bridge and back to the middle to come on down. We've got Giant's Ladder, which is a 3-person team activity where they all work together, and as they get higher and higher, the gaps between them get bigger and bigger.
It's a real teamwork sort of thing.
Most definitely, definitely. Occasionally you need to help them out and give them something. But just behind me right here, we've got the leap of faith or the pamper pole, whatever you want to call it. You climb up the pole, end up standing up on top of it, and then you're going to be leaping out to the trapeze.
Try and grab onto it.
Yeah. Nice. So this one here is the vertical playpen. There's a ladder that gets attached to the bottom. You climb up the ladder. This one's 2-person one as well, and they work together to go through the tyre, up the centipede to stand up on top of the beam there before they hold on to the rope, and somehow working together get into the tyre on the top. The balance beam here, which is there's 2 ways of going up this. You can either go up the centipede and then somehow climb up on top, or there's the ladder to go up. And you've got numerous tricks that you can do up there, whether it's 360s, being blindfolded, going backwards, doing push-ups, all sorts.
So a lot of these are sort of all about pushing yourself and
without a doubt.
And relying on team members and stuff like that. Oh, cool.
So it's a really, really good one for facing fears. Even if you don't feel like you've got a fear of heights, this brings it out.
So Billy,
Yes.
what's going to happen here?
So when Wade catches up to Josh, they're going to work together using the monkey tails or the vines coming down and make their way across to the other side. So this is a great team building sort of exercise, and gets them communicating with each other. Solely working together and not putting any of their weight on the ropes, it's a real balancing act. And as they get across, it actually gets further and further apart.
For more information on these activities, get in touch with the Boyle River crew. Welcome back. Lincoln University are constantly researching and they have come up with some great ideas for bioprotection in New Zealand.
Hello, my name's Steve Ratton. I'm a Professor of Ecology at Lincoln University. I work in a rather special centre called a Bioprotection Research Centre here, which is one of 7 in the country. And bioprotection, which some people say is about the future of the world actually, is about dealing with weeds and pests and diseases in agriculture without using chemicals all the time. And things like biological control of pests is a key element of that. So that's what we do here. And today we're at the Lincoln Vineyard, the Lincoln University Vineyard, which is used for teaching and research. And some of our ideas are being put into practice here. Those ideas involve looking underneath the vine row, where herbicide, weed killer, is frequently used, for all the right reasons. Of course, I'm not here to knock viticulture, but there are alternatives to frequent use of weed killer under the row, which offer us multiple benefits. Now this vineyard to some extent is ordinary. I don't mean that in a deprecatory way. It's ordinary because they maintain virtually a clean area under the vine rows. And they do that for good reasons, because if we get too many weeds, or even bushes, they're going to compete with the vine for water and for nutrients. Vines have 2 types of roots, as I understand it: shallow ones, which take up the nutrients, and very deep ones that take up the water. Because the original vine comes from the Middle East, of course it lives in hot climates and needs deep roots. So weed killers more than once a year are used in these environments to prevent that competition. But there are negatives of weed killers. For example, many plants in the world now, many weeds are resistant to Roundup. Many, and that number is increasing. Also, all herbicides have some negatives, and we'll probably find that the quality of the soil here is rather poor. And if we dug it up with a spade, I would predict there wouldn't be many earthworms in here. This will be what happens typically when we don't use weed killers in a vineyard. And it's not acceptable because although there's more biodiversity here, to use that word, first of all, it's European biodiversity. This is cocksfoot, a common New Zealand plant now, but it is European. Very deep rooted, and that is going to compete with the vines for water and nutrients. There's some ryegrass in here that's crept in from the interrow, and a few other weeds. No sensible wine grower would leave it like this. In organic vineyards, they often put sheep in the winter, which is fine, and they do a good job. So if you don't use weed killers, and you don't use a living lawnmower like a sheep, you get into trouble. So what we're doing is having an alternative to this, and we're scratching in the seeds of some plants here that take the place of the weeds, and they offer a range of what we call nature's services. One of those services is suppressing weeds. The plant we use is common in gardens all around New Zealand, and it's called Alyssum, A-L-Y-S-S-U-M, and that provides wonderful nectar which smells like honey, which also attracts the good insects that control the pests in the vineyard. So already we have 2 functions: suppressing weeds and feeding the good insects with nectar. So you see down here, this is this plant I mentioned called Alyssum. If you go for a walk along any township in New Zealand, look in people's front gardens, and you'll often see this growing up against a fence. It does very well in dry areas. It comes from the cliffs of the Mediterranean region, and therefore doesn't mind if it's hot or dry. In the books they tell us it's an annual plant, but in New Zealand's climate, even now after some frosts, it still persists. And in the spring it will produce more side shoots, more flowers, and be there all through the summer, suppressing weeds and helping to control pests. So Lincoln University is pioneering here by having this as a demonstration, and in the spring we're going to try some more rows with this, maybe some different types of plants as well.
Craig, what's happened, mate?
Ah,
You a bit
Scotty,
stuck?
I tell you what, you got to be prepared for anything in Canterbury, don't you?
You do. This weather's not very nice, is it?
Yeah, it depends if you like a bit of danger or not, though, mate. I actually, I'm not averse to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But worried about getting home?
I am worried about getting home. We're stuck.
We can
How are we
help,
going to
mate.
get out of this?
You're all right, you're in safe hands.
What do you got in the back there?
We've got a recovery kit. We offer a couple of them. This is our large one. Pretty portable, nice and easy to carry. Slap in the back of the ute, slap in the back of the tractor. What you get with one of our recovery kits, Scotty, quite a bit of gear actually, so don't be too stifled.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Maybe I'm the one that's stifled, but let's have a quick look here. Recovery kit's quite a comprehensive package. Do you know what these things are, mate?
No.
All right, let me explain. What we've got here is a snatch strap. They're 9 metres in length. It factors in 20% stretch tolerance, which of course helps you if you're in a situation, get a bit of snap. It's a good thing to have.
Yep.
Not every towing device has that capability, so it absorbs all the kinetic energy and it'll snap if you need a quick release, if you need to pull something over a hump or something to that effect. There's a winch extension. They're 20 metres long, so what it does is it gives you the ability, depending on the circumstances, just to extend your ability to winch yourself out. Quite a lot of the time, you're looking for an anchor point, and with a winch extension, it gives you that additional 20 metres or so, given the fact you've already got 9 metres in your winch strap. And the other thing that is worth taking on board is these two roll in with the 20% of tolerance. It's always good to have that stretching capability.
Yep.
If you know what these things are, mate, these are a snatch block.
I've seen them, but...
Yeah, they're a clever bit of kit. And you basically, what you do is you feed your winch cable through here, and what it does in effect is it doubles the winch's capability in terms of its towing strength, or its ability to be able to haul you. And that's not all. If you need to protect your trees on your property, or if you're on land, a tree trunk protector, they're 3 metres, they'll wrap around the tree, because quite often you'll need to anchor yourself off, and a tree trunk protector does that for you. These are so you can protect yourself, because you'd probably be a danger to yourself, Scotty, wouldn't you? Eh? Be fair to say?
Oh, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Mate, I know I am, anyway. D-shackles, so you can affix them to your vehicle. And a drag chain. Now these drag chains, not necessarily required when you're winching your own vehicle, but hey look, on a day like today, who knows? I mean, a tree could fall over in front of us. We may need to drag something out of the way. So more than useful and part of the kit. All of this is what we call our large recovery kit. Well worth having on board. Come with our own carry bag. As I say, nice and portable. And just one of the many products you can get in our range.
So if you're after this carry bag, you better talk to the boys down at Ironman and they'll sort you out. Now, if you love fishing and beer, stay tuned, because after a break we meet a father and son combo who have moved to Springfield all the way from Australia. See you then. Just 1 hour west of Christchurch is Springfield, the home of the donut. And we've come out here to meet a few of the locals who are going to show us this amazing little town. So this is Spot X, Pete.
Yeah, mate, this is Spot X.
Any luck so far?
Not today, but...
we only just got here really, didn't we?
Yeah, so just takes a little while.
So Pete, I mean, we're fishing on the Waimak. Is this heaven to you?
Mate, does it get any better? Look around, you know, like, what a great place. You know, like, we holidayed here for 6 years before we decided to move over from Oz. And myself, my family, we haven't regretted it. Paradise. We've got everything in our backyard here, you know.
Yeah. So it's not very often you hear an Australian talk up New Zealand so highly. What's going on?
Well, mate, I think a lot of people don't come here and discover it, you know, and take the time. And once you've put in the hours here, different country, different people, even though we're all you know, Anzacs and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I couldn't think of anywhere at the moment to move to from here. This is just like, mate, I wake up, I live in the pub, I got the pub. Wife doesn't think much of that, but, you know, yeah, it's just, I meet every type of farmer, hunter, you get your tourists, and people just end up coming here for a day and staying for 5 because there is so much to do. You're having a cast, you're going to get this tree up over here?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give it a go. I mean,
yeah, keep saying that, eh?
I keep saying it, but...
You've got to show me up.
Well, I didn't want to because, you know, born and bred in New Zealand, I'm a bit of a natural, so...
Yeah, I'll geez, I get this all the time.
Yeah, all right, okay, you call my bluff now. I think we'll have to give it a go. Oh, so it's up to me now to bring home the bacon.
Mate.
Oh, God. Right, see how we go. Watch out, cameraman. Hey, that wasn't too bad.
No, and I'll be really upset if you do get one.
Oh,
You can't lose that law.
is that your lucky one?
Yeah. I just want to see you walk out there, to be honest.
How deep is it? Am I
Oh,
gonna
no, you'll be right.
So the only thing we've caught today is a rock. There we go. I don't know if we're going to catch anything, Pete.
I don't think we are, not this sort of late in the day, not with the volume of water too.
And all this mention of beers made me thirsty. Should we go back
mate.
to the pub, I
I
think?
think we should go back to the pub.
Yeah, let's go back to the pub. Rightio, so every town has a hub, and we're here in the Springfield Hotel, which is a local watering hole. And we have Wade, who is the #1 barman in the town. How'd you get that honour?
Oh mate, I'm the only barman in town.
Oh yeah?
So yeah, it's pretty much.
Oh, well that's a bit poor. You should have made a good story.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Oh, so you're in Springfield. Now tell us a bit of your history. I mean, you moved here from Australia, I believe?
Yeah, moved here about 2 years ago. You know, just really been doing the pub up, getting it back up to scratch, you know, and just pretty much it.
And what do you sort of feel are a few of your highlights in the area? What's keeping you here, basically?
Keeping me here, the hunting, the fishing, I love my outdoors, you know, getting on the quads and stuff, and yeah, pretty much it, just being outside, so much better than being stuck inside when you're in a big city, you know, like back in Aussie.
So here in Springfield, the pub's sort of the main hub. What kind of events and stuff do you have first?
Oh, every Australia Day, because we're Australian, we put on a test cricket game between us and the Kiwis. So the Kiwi team always fills up quick as, and we got to get all the bloody, what do you call them? Immigrants to come play for us. So, yeah.
So everyone who's not from New Zealand plays for Australia. How's that game go?
Yeah, good. It's 1-1. Kiwis won it the first year. We managed to scrape up a draw last game, so it's 1-1 at the moment.
Sweet. And the pub here, what facilities do you have, like beds and stuff like that?
Yeah, we got accommodation upstairs, you know, just singles and doubles, just, you know, kind of like old schoolish, you know, normal rooms, and pretty cheap. And we got the restaurant, got just, you know, normal pub grub going, you know, no meal over $25, which is good, so, you know.
And what would be your favourite meal?
My favourite meal would be the ribeye, mate.
Ribeye?
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
Chef cooks it beautiful.
Is this one of your hunts?
Nah, I wish, mate. But one of the local boys got that. She's a massive stag, just up on one of the mountains out the back. Can't really tell you the spot because I get slaughtered if I end up like that.
It's the local law of the Republican.
Yeah.
Hear everything, don't tell anything.
Yeah, that's it. In one ear, out the other.
And is that one yours? Surely one of these is going to be yours.
No, this is one of the local girls, Sian. She got that on her first go, 12-pointer, which is awesome for your first go, eh? She went with one of the local boys, used to be a guide. He's probably the best hunter I've ever met. But yeah, she got in that.
And that one over there, is that your ex-missus?
Yeah, I'd put her up there if I could, but no, yeah, that's another local boy got that.
So Wade, upstairs, accommodation.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff you got up here?
Oh, just, you know, stock standard rooms.
Yeah.
What do you expect to get in a pub? Share bathrooms. This is what our usual room looks like. Ooh. Yeah, there's a double with a bunk. And most of the rooms like this, just with a double or, you know, a set of bunks in it.
Yeah.
Share bathrooms, just like most pubs. Nothing too flash, but worth the money.
Yeah, and you get local stand, people working in the area.
Yeah, we get heaps
Here's
of people
one right
like
here.
that. Yeah.
Hey, mate, what's it up?
Good, mate. You good, Andrew?
Yeah, not bad. I'm going that way, right?
Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we get heaps, mainly truckies and railway boys and stuff, you know.
And in the winter time, you get a lot of skiers and stuff.
Yeah,
and
tons of
people
skiers,
coming through for the weekend and that.
Yeah. Well, the town pretty much doubles in winter, so
Oh, wow. Yeah.
we get flat out. It's good.
Have any weekly specials or any special nights like Wednesday tango night or anything? Maybe that's a thing. You should start that.
No, Wednesday nights are normally our pool night. We have local pool comp. Everyone comes down to watch that usually, and pretty much it. Happy hour on a Tuesday, Wednesdays. So yeah, that's pretty much just stock standard. I already mentioned it, mate.
Dad button in.
Yeah, I know.
God, he's rude, isn't he? He's just upset we didn't catch any fish earlier.
Should have taken me. I could have shown him how to do it.
Oh, well, cheers for the beverage. And,
Hey, cheers, mate. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for joining us on Rural New Zealand this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Just remember to like us on Facebook, and if you have missed an episode, you can watch it on demand. Catch you guys next time when we go on another amazing adventure. See you then.